The years leading up to the decline of the Western Roman Empire saw the persecution of pagans and the closing of temples throughout the empire. So let us look at one such event in history and explore how Rome destroyed the Oracle of Delphi. Hey there, everybody! Welcome to the channel. The Oracle of Delphi was one of the most important spiritual figures in Greek religion. Considered to be the greatest of the oracles, she was believed to have the ability to see the future and divine secrets of the universe. But how exactly did Rome destroy the oracle? Let's find out. Chapter 1: The Shadow over Delphi. The sun hung low over the sacred slopes of Mount Parnassus, casting long shadows across the ruins of the Temple of Apollo. The year was 393 AD, and the once great Oracle of Delphi, the Pythia, sat in silence. The air was thick with the scent of burning laurel leaves, but no divine whispers stirred in the sacred Adyton beneath the temple. The voices of the gods had faded, and with them, the power of Delphi. Theodora, the last Pythia, was a woman of sharp wit and sharper sorrow. Once her prophecies had guided kings and emperors. Now she was little more than a relic in a dying world. The Roman Empire, fractured and weary, had turned its back on the old gods. Emperor Theodosius had decreed the end of pagan worship, and his soldiers marched across Greece, silencing the ancient sanctuaries. On this evening, as the crimson light bled across the columns, a stranger climbed the sacred path. He was a Roman officer, his cloak dusty from travel, his face lined with exhaustion. His name was Lucius Varro, and he carried with him a sealed letter bearing the imperial seal. "Theodora of Delphi," he said, his voice rough. "I come with a question, one last question for the oracle." She studied him, her dark eyes unreadable. "The gods no longer speak here. Roman, the sanctuary is forsaken." Lucius did not flinch. "The emperor demands an answer." Chapter 2: The Forgotten Prophecy. Theodora led him into the dim interior of the temple, where the eternal flame of Hestia flickered weakly. She had not performed the rites in months, but the weight of tradition pressed upon her. She sat upon the tripod, inhaling the faint fumes that still rose from the earth remnants of the sacred pneuma that had once connected her to Apollo. Lucius unrolled the scroll. "Rome is besieged not by barbarians, but by omens. Plagues, fires, and visions of doom. The emperor asks, will the empire survive?" Theodora closed her eyes. She had expected silence, but then a whisper. A voice not her own, ancient and echoing, rose within her. "When the eagle's wings are broken, and the Volf drinks from the Tiber's sorrow, the last light of Rome shall fade. Yet from the ashes of the old, a phoenix shall rise not as empire, but as memory." Her voice trembled as she spoke the words aloud. Lucius paled. This is not the answer he wished to hear. "No," Theodora agreed. "But it is the truth." Chapter 3: The Closing of the Gates. That night, the temple guards brought word. Roman soldiers were ascending the mountain, their torches bright against the darkness. Theodora knew what it meant. Theodosius' decree would be enforced with fire and sword. Lucius stood at the entrance, his expression grim. "You must leave. They will destroy this place, and go where?" Theodora laughed bitterly. "Delphi was my life. Without it, I am nothing. You are the last oracle," he said. "That makes you everything." As the first flames licked at the temple's wooden beams, Theodora took one final look at the sanctuary that had been her home. The sacred spring was dry, the laurel trees withered, the age of oracles was over. With Lucius at her side, she vanished into the night, carrying the last prophecy of Delphi into the unknown. Epilogue: The Echo of the Gods. Centuries later, scholars would debate the final words of the oracle. Some claimed Rome fell because it abandoned the old gods. Others said it was destiny. But in the ruins of Delphi, if one listens closely, the wind still carries a whisper, a reminder that even the greatest empires are but shadows in the eyes of time. And so, the last oracle's voice endured, not in stone or scroll, but in the eternal echo of prophecy. The end. Emperor Theodosius I officially established Christianity as a state religion in the Roman Empire in 380 AD. However, The process of converting the entire empire from polytheism to monotheism took some time, and during this transition period, both religions coexisted, resulting in a blend of pagan and Christian beliefs and practices. However, towards the end of his reign, Theodosius I became increasingly intolerant of paganism and began to persecute those who followed traditional Roman cults. In 391 AD, he permitted the desecration of pagan temples and shrines, including the famous Temple of Apollo at Delphi, considered the greatest sanctum in the Hellenic world. The destruction of the Oracle of Delphi by Roman soldiers under the direction of Emperor Theodosius I serves as a significant example of the suppression of paganism during the rise of Christianity. This event had a profound impact on the course of religious history, marking the end of an era in which the Oracle's prophecies had played a pivotal role in shaping the destinies of individuals and civilizations. So why did the Romans destroy the Oracle of Delphi? The simple answer is because they could. While it might seem that the Romans acted solely due to their preference for Christianity, the decision to dismantle the Oracle's sanctuary was likely influenced by several factors. One reason was the changing religious landscape of the empire. As Christianity gradually became the dominant faith, pagan traditions, such as the worship of Apollo at Delphi, faced increasing persecution. This shift in religious sentiment created an environment of fear and uncertainty for those involved in maintaining the Oracle's cult. Additionally, the fall of paganism was also a part of the Romanization process. By eradicating local religious practices, the Roman authorities aimed to impose uniformity and control over the vast and diverse empire. In this context, the suppression of the Oracle's sanctuary can be seen as an effort to impose Roman cultural norms and values on the conquered territories. Furthermore, the political instability and decline of the Roman Empire during the late 4th century played a role in the demise of the Oracle. The empire's weakening infrastructure and the diminishing flow of pilgrims to Delphi contributed to the sanctuary's financial decline, making it vulnerable to external pressures. Lastly, the rise of intolerance among Roman rulers like Theodosius I also contributed to the destruction of the Oracle. The growing hostility towards paganism and the perceived incompatibility between traditional Roman religion and Christianity fueled a campaign of suppression that culminated in the desecration of the sanctuary. In conclusion, the destruction of the Oracle of Delphi by Roman soldiers under the rule of Emperor Theodosius I represents a pivotal moment in the history of paganism. Motivated by a combination of religious zeal, political ambition, economic hardship, and personal intolerance, the Roman authorities suppressed the Oracle's cult, ending centuries of tradition and prophecy. This event serves as a reminder of the fragility of religious institutions and the impact of changing cultural norms on ancient practices. It also highlights the lasting legacy of the Oracle, whose influence continued to resonate even in the face of persecution. We hope you enjoyed this chilling tale of the demise of the Oracle of Delphi. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more captivating historical stories like this one. Your support means everything to us. Thank you for joining us today.